freedom.
It is good to be powered by World Sports Betting. It is good times.co.za. Amazulu nil, Mamelodi Sundowns 1. Fantastic game of football, end to end, very open. Well, it needed an icebreaker. Sometimes nokukhuluma nomuntu osifazane ungazi ukuthi uzothini kunento abathi icebreaker. So Amazulu were awkward at the beginning, too defensive. They had no plan of scoring, right? And then Sundowns scored, and then Amazulu suddenly realized, oh, we are playing a competitive game of football. We can now start playing because we've conceded. In fact, they went on to score a goal, which they were robbed. It should have been 1-1 here, although Sundowns was a stronger team, but 2 goals were scored. One here Sundowns, a penalty, and then another one Amazulu, which was a perfect goal, but it was disallowed. We'll ask the same question again that we always ask. Why do you wait until they score against you before you start playing? At least start playing with better energy, applying yourself. It's becoming predictable. We predicted it yesterday with the Swallows. We predicted it actually at the beginning of the game when we were just chatting amongst ourselves. We kind of sensed that Amazulu are going to be defensive, but they will stop being defensive after they concede a goal. And that's exactly what happened. They deserve a draw here today, but unfortunately, the linesman robbed them of that goal. Tso Vilakazi, former Orlando Pirates captain, former Mamelodi Sundowns midfielder. Those controversial moments, the penalty and the goal as well, what do you make of that?
Wezeke kunjani mfethu? Ngibulise wena, ngibulise uJustice Mbuso Junior, ngibulise namakhaya. Ngicela support njalo la iDiskiTV. Zobenje njalo ngichike futhi. The penalty spot on, referee bone kahle. Kumeto umbambile lapha yana, and you know yes, remember Msenkeo, you need to think now more a player. You are a defender inside your box. If you play Yakbamba and Mike Bamba, and then now you decided to hold, who's got an advantage in that? Attacker, not you. When as a defender, chances are very slim for you to utubanjiwe and then you referee I blow. But attacking team, the striker, Wanzumut, manje sayibeka manje. But yeah, umtonsile, even now umtonsile, Kenny Tonsene, but referee saw you. I mean, Sanda sakho siyavela sisibonile nathi ukuthi now nakombambile, so the ayikho enye indlela referee bekile. Good decision and a good goal from Ribeiro. Good technique this time around uvele wahlakanipha. It tells you about the experience, Mr. K. ukuthi you earn the experience. You don't just go to a shop and buy it, because naye uyazi ukuthi okay, these people now baya study ukuthi ngishaya kanjani ama penalty, and today uvele wayishaya nje straight. So yeah, well done. And then a goal Amazulu. I saw the assistant referee. He was not in a straight line with the players, so he was more pambili, more in front than the players. That's why he got it wrong, because Maga Vela extend uvela ngathi offside. Can't no, yeah, positioning yakhe was wrong. He was not on a straight line with the players to see who to extend upuma from where. But because of Bega Pambili, obviously, or Vela Kala, you'll think we yellow offside. And I like it to Amazulu. Again, I will say well done to Amazulu. You know, Mr. Geo, I said it earlier. You will defend and carry the ball. And then what are you going to do with the ball? So, second half, after I made those changes, I will say Mubara move and all. And every time when he puts Mubara right to his position, now you can see the direction of the team. Now you can see how they play. And look, Amazulu, they make Sundowns to work for this 3 point. And this is what we always ask to say. Yes, we know Sundowns are a good team. Sundowns, they are better in positioning. Sundowns, they create chances more than any team, and you know they score. Sundowns, eventually, whatever, even if you defend or if you attack, Sundowns, they will score. But we say, don't make it easier for them. Make them work. And Amazulu, look, I think Amazulu, if the way they started the second half, if they started like this from first half, I think we'll be talking a different ball game altogether, because you know it's the first time after a while to to see Sundowns right in their back foot. Now Amazulu were coming, in that final third, passing, trying to squeeze in crosses, Lapayana. It was very interesting.
Can I just say something very quickly? So sorry to cut you. Here's the thing. The first thing we noticed when we started watching this game was the conditions.
Yeah.
It was raining.
Yeah.
In the MTN 8 final, there was wind, abnormal wind. That affects the game that a certain team wants to play. Obviously, Sundowns wants to play a certain way. When the conditions are not like this, when it's raining, it will affect Sundowns. When as a team, the home team, you should be aware with, okay, this thing, and I said it, this is going to play to Amazulu's favor because Sundowns only know one way, which is their way. Now, what is their way? Their way is circulating the ball, opening you up. They have players with vision, they will get those forward passes. But their way also contains a lot of passes in their first third, which is from their 18-yard area to D-line to like maybe 25-yard area, right? So that's their first third before you go to the center, the second third, and the final third. In their first third, this was always going to happen. Number one, the bounce of the ball, the pace of the ball, the slipperiness of the surface. But Bona, they're stubborn. They know their own way. They did it in Cairo. They did it in Casablanca. They've done it everywhere. So you know already that they are just going to try to play their own way. But here's what we know about conditions. Conditions don't favor you. They're not going to ask you, how do you feel about us today? The conditions are going to be the conditions. Muremi got 3-4 opportunities because Sundowns were just playing. And then someone tries to trap the ball. They mistrap it, and then it goes to Muremi. Now, here's the thing about that. We need thinking people in our game. We need to demand these coaches to think more. We need to demand the people who are assisting them, the video analysts, everyone. They need to listen to each other to say, we need 3 players that are going to be pressing Sundowns. Okay, we want to be defensive all the time. We need to have 7 defenders. Let's have a 3-7 split. 3 forwards, left, right, center. It's fine. They can just push. And then our defensive wall will do what we want them to do, right? Now, that's what Amazulu didn't do. And if you notice, in the first 30-35 minutes, Ronald Williams was receiving those balls, passing them. And you guys were complimenting him. He received it 10 times and he got it out 10 times. The moment Amazulu conceded and then they tried to press, then Sundowns started to make mistakes. What's wrong? Like, you get paid 200,000, 100,000. You're supposed to think about those things.
Mr. Nkeo, one thing with most of coaches is they worry about defending, how we're going to defend Sundowns, and forgetting that while they will defend, they will get this moment where you're going to get that ball. What are you going to do with the ball? Then find a way. Like they did second half Amazulu. For me, that's the best way of playing football. Yes, we're defending. Then when we get a ball, Dion Ulapayana, Muremi Ulapayana, Extend Ulapayana. Second half it was much better because they were more pumping, more upfront than first half. So it made it defenses Sundowns not to really relax because now anything can happen. And it happens. Look at how igoli bebayitholile bayidisalawile ukuthi what happened is Umremi was there, Dion was central, Extenula. Why? Because they were there up front, they attack. So now that's how you're going to get opportunities, when you've got at least put those 3 up front. And the worst scenario, Mr. K, is that the weather today, as we just said now, I think it was favoring Amazulu.
Yes.
In the sense that Sundowns don't want to play. It's wet, slippery. If you put pressure on them, they're going to make mistakes. Muremi and herself, he just need to say to the team, sorry. I will say I've cost the team the 3 points tonight because it's not now they made mistakes with what we're talking about. Slippery and then it happens with make use of those chances because when playing against Sundowns, one, it's so difficult to create chances. And when you get a chance like that, punish them. So that it's Sundowns now they need to learn good. Guys, it's wet, it's slippery, we can't start la. At least let's try and play Kuma channel. Look at what happened second half. Orowen, as much as Begayedala second half, but he changed more now to playing more forward because he can see that these guys are pressing and anything can happen here. If anyone can sleep here, then we're going to be punished. And yeah, I think maybe a team analysis work, they've shown him something in half time because definitely they came back a different Amazulu, and that's why I'm saying well done to them because whether it's the coach or whether it's the players, because you could see that they're fighting, everyone is putting effort, they get into the right areas, trying to put those passes in good areas, and it almost worked for them. Just let her like it for extend for that ball by Tisala Repel.
Yeah. In terms of approach, last one, like I asked the same question to Junior as well. Is this not an indication of how to play Sundowns? I know. I have to make this very clear. Not every day it's gonna rain, and not every day it's gonna be making it difficult for Sundowns players to trap the ball, receive the ball. Other days it's perfect conditions. They will beat you, and they have better quality players. But there's something to be said about this thing, Yoguti. Sometimes be in their faces. Remember what we noticed in the first half, and I said it, like Amazulu, the reason why why are these coaches saying fuck off to me?
Yeah.
And even inside the field,
Yeah.
now this is the thing, you know Guti, they are better than you. So isn't there something to be said? I remember there was a 0-0 that Sundowns played against Cape Town City. It was similar to this, like Uguti, like we're just gonna kick you, we'll kick you.
Yeah.
So isn't there something to be said about when you play against Sundowns, just be in their face, because it's 10 wins out of 10. This wasn't an easy game, but just make it difficult for them in other games too.
Mr. Keo, in this game, you always try to find any trick that you will use, especially like against a team like Sundowns that in the field of play, it's so difficult to do anything. Try to shift the focus, have some argument, try pull their chases. That's Mr. Keo, in football, I'm not saying it's okay, but I'm saying try and find a way ukuphazamisa nje ukuthi bathi mabacabanga nje bathi mabenza lento leyo ifana ukuthi ukuyobona a skillful player ethi mayibamba ibhola, don't try and win the ball, look ukuchitha nje kancane. He gets frustrated ukuthi but why this guy is not winning the ball so that nami ngemaki unjalo makumele ngabe uyalwini ulikhathalela le, now everyone needs to come back, now that player gets frustrated. So that's what you need to do. Try ukuthi baphazamisa ikhanda nje badonsa amajezi neneni badlalisene offside trap, badlalisene offside, yenza ama throw in. That's how you uzoba step corner in terms of themselves getting their rhythm, because once they get their rhythm, their own song, it's so difficult to stop this team.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you very much, Mr. So-and-so. And remember as well that it's not easy. Of course, you take it with a pinch of salt. This is a team that is feared by Wydad Casablanca, Al Ahly, Tupiso Mazembe as well played against Sundowns, and I think they won over the weekend. But they respect Sundowns. They know who they are. I remember Abu Jali when they were playing for Sundowns, making Mazembe chase shadows, playing it from the back. So it's not going to be easy. Imagine if the top 5 teams in Africa are finding it difficult against you, how much more for South African clubs. But there's something to be said about this thing. You don't wait for them to score first before you start imposing yourself. You can't impose yourself, but just be in their face, be there all the time, breathe on their neck, all the time they receive the ball, you are there. That's the best place to start. And then as the game goes on, like so, he's very experienced, he's saying, the more you frustrate skillful players, the more their mind is off the game now. Like, it's like, damn, you are interrupting me. I'm trying to do this, because they're so used to getting their own way. By the time that they are so frustrated in the 60th minute, then you close in, and then maybe you might even get a goal. Tough luck to Amazulu. Well done to Sundowns. Good game of football. Very competitive. iDiskiTV, Times, World Sports Betting. Thank you for watching us.